6 months had passed since the Zephyrian fleet was defeated. The galaxy was a different place now. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of the new Galactic Defense Station, watching ships from dozens of different species working together. "Admiral, a morning briefing is ready," said Captain Martinez. He had been promoted after his successful mission to the Zephyrian homeworld. Lysa walked into the briefing room where representatives from 30 different species were waiting. There were tall, blue-skinned Atlanteans, small furry creatures called Fennecs, and many others. All of them looked to humanity for leadership. "Good morning, everyone," Lisa said. "Let's start with the good news. The Zephyrian Empire has officially surrendered. Admiral Vextar signed the peace treaty yesterday." The room erupted in cheers. Species that had been slaves for centuries were finally free. "However," Lisa continued, "we still have the problem. From the Galactic Core, Dr. Foster, please give us your report." Dr. Foster stood up, looking more tired than ever. "The energy readings are getting stronger. Whatever is out there has destroyed 12 more star systems in the past month. It's moving toward us." A Fennec representative named Clix spoke up. "Dr. Foster, do we know what it is?" "We're calling it the Void. It appears to be some kind of intelligent dark energy. It consumes everything in its path, planets, stars, even space itself." President Carter appeared on the main screen from Earth. "Dr. Foster, how long until it reaches populated space?" 2 years, maybe less. It's moving faster than we expected." The room fell silent. Everyone was thinking the same thing. The Zephyrians had been running from this thing for centuries. If it scared them enough to become conquerors, what chance did anyone else have? Colonel Watson stood up. "Sir, I have a proposal. We've been studying the Zephyrian data about the Void. They never tried to fight it. They just ran. Maybe it's time someone stood and fought." "What do you mean?" President Carter asked. "I mean we form a real galactic defense force. Every species contributes ships and technology. We meet this thing at the edge of inhabited space and stop it." An Atlantean admiral named Thural spoke. "Up, Colonel Watson, the Zephyrians tried to fight the Void once. It destroyed their entire battle fleet in minutes." "The Zephyrians never had human technology," Watson replied. "They never had quantum disruptors or shield breakers. They never had the solar lance." Dr. Park had been working on new weapons based on their study of the Void. "Colonel Watson is right. We've developed something new. We call it the Void Breaker. It's designed specifically to fight dark energy." She activated a holographic display showing a massive weapon. "This device can create a field of positive energy that should be able to destroy the Void, but we need time to build enough of them." Commander Adams had been coordinating the construction of new defensive positions. "We're building a defense line at the edge of the galaxy. Weapon platforms, shield generators, everything we have. But we need every species to help." The representatives looked at each other. They were being asked to fight something that had scared the galaxy's most powerful empire into becoming monsters. Clix, the Fennec representative, was the first to speak. "The Fennec Republic will contribute 50 ships and our best engineers." Thural nodded. "The Atlantean Federation will provide 100 ships and our shield technology." One by one, every species in the room pledged their support. They had all been freed by humanity's victory over the Zephyrians. Now they would stand together against an even greater threat. Admiral Rodriguez smiled. "Thank you all. We'll need every ship and every weapon we can get." Captain Martinez was already planning the defense. "Admiral, I recommend we establish our main battle line at the Kepler system. It's at the edge of inhabited space, and it has natural barriers that might slow the Void down." "Agreed. How many ships can we gather?" "Over 5,000, Nam. The largest fleet in galactic history." But Admiral Rodriguez knew that numbers wouldn't be enough. They needed something special, something that would give them an edge against an enemy that had never been defeated. Dr. Foster had been working on a secret project. "Admiral, I need to show you something, but it has to be just between us for now." He led her to a secure laboratory deep in the station. Inside was a device that looked like a miniature star. "What is it?" Lisa asked. "It's a controlled singularity. We've learned how to create and control black holes. If we can get close enough to the void, we can trap it inside a black hole and destroy it." How close is close enough? Someone would have to fly directly into the void and activate the device manually. It would be a suicide mission. Lisa stared at the device. "How many volunteers do we have?" "Every human pilot has volunteered. So have representatives from every allied species. Everyone wants to be the one to save the galaxy." Meanwhile, Rick Collins was working on new stealth technology. "If we can make a ship invisible to the void, we might be able to get close enough to use Dr. Foster's weapon." He had been studying the void's energy patterns for months. It detects matter and energy, but it might not detect quantum shadows. We could phase a ship slightly out of normal space. Colonel Watson was training special forces teams from every species. We're not just preparing for a space battle. If the void has ground forces, we need to be ready for anything. The training was intense. Human soldiers worked alongside Fennec engineers, Atlantean warriors, and dozens of other species. They were becoming more than allies. They were becoming a family. President Carter addressed the growing fleet from Earth. "Soldiers of the galaxy, we face our greatest challenge. The void has destroyed countless worlds and driven entire species to extinction. But today, we make our stand. Today, we show the universe that some things are worth fighting for." The fleet gathered at the Kepler system was magnificent. Ships from every corner of the galaxy worked together, their crews united by a common purpose. Humanity had given them hope, and now they were ready to fight for it. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the new flagship, the UES Unity. It was the largest ship ever built, carrying representatives from every species and armed with the most advanced weapons in the galaxy. "Admiral, we're detecting the void's approach," reported Lieutenant Wilson. "It will be here in 6 hours." Lisa looked at the screen, showing the approaching darkness. It was like a wave of nothingness, consuming everything in its path. Stars disappeared, planets vanished. Even space itself seemed to die. "All ships, this is Admiral Rodriguez, battle stations. Today, we make history." The void arrived like a storm of darkness. It was bigger than anyone had imagined, stretching across light years of space. As it moved, reality itself seemed to bend and break. "All ships open fire," Admiral Rodriguez commanded. 5,000 ships fired at once. Quantum disruptors, shield breakers, and weapons from dozens of different species lit up the darkness. But the void absorbed everything, growing stronger with each attack. "Admiral, conventional weapons aren't working," Captain Martinez reported. "We need to try the void breakers." Dr. Park activated her new weapons. Beams of positive energy shot out from specially equipped ships, striking the void directly. For a moment, the darkness seemed to shrink. "It's working," she shouted. "The void breakers are hurting it." But the void adapted quickly. It began to pulse with dark energy, neutralizing the positive energy weapons. The fleet was running out of options. "Dr. Foster, it's time for the singularity weapon," Admiral Rodriguez said. Foster nodded grimly. "The stealth ship is ready. Captain Collins will pilot it into the void." Rick Collins sat in the cockpit of the most advanced ship humanity had ever built. It was invisible to all known sensors and equipped with the singularity weapon. He would have to fly directly into the heart of the void to activate it. "Rick, are you ready?" Admiral Rodriguez asked over the cone. "Ready as I'll ever be, Admiral. If this doesn't work, tell my family of them." Rick's ship phased out of normal space and disappeared from all sensors. He was alone in the quantum shadow realm, flying toward certain death dot as he approached. The void, Rick could feel reality breaking down around him. The darkness was alive, intelligent, and hungry. It sensed his presence and began to chase him. "Almost there," Rick reported. "The singularity is armed and ready." But as he reached the center of the void, something unexpected happened. The darkness began to speak. "Human," it said in a voice like dying stars. "Why do you resist? I offer peace. I offer an end to suffering." "Because," Rick replied, "life is worth fighting for. Even if it's hard, even if it hurts. Life is better than nothing." He activated the singularity weapon. A controlled black hole formed in the heart of the void, pulling the dark energy into itself. The void screamed as it was consumed by its own. Opposite, "Rick, get out of there!" Admiral Rodriguez shouted, but Rick's ship was caught in the black hole's gravity. He smiled as he was pulled into the singularity, taking the void with him. "Tell them we won," he said. Then he was gone. The void collapsed in on itself, consumed by the black hole. The darkness that had threatened the galaxy for millennia was finally destroyed. The fleet cheered as stars began to shine again in the emptiness where the void had been. 6 months later, the galaxy was celebrating. The void was gone. The Zephyrian Empire was reformed as a peaceful republic and species. Across the galaxy were working together like never before. Admiral Rodra. The defeated Zephyrian fleet floated helplessly in space. Admiral Vexstar sat in his darkened command center, trying to understand how his mighty empire had been crushed so easily. President Carter stood in the Situation Room, surrounded by his advisors. The hardest part was about to begin. It was time to send a message that would change the galaxy forever. "Dr. Foster, is the Galactic Communication Array ready?" Carter asked. Dr. Foster nodded. "Mr. President, we've tapped into the Zephyrian Communication Network. Every species in the galaxy will receive our message." "Good. It's time to let the universe know that Earth is not to be touched." The message went out across the galaxy, traveling faster than light through communication networks that connected thousands of worlds. The content was simple, but the impact would be massive. "This is President Carter of Earth. Today, the Zephyrian Empire tried to conquer our world. They failed. Their fleet is defeated. Their weapons are useless. We are sending this message to every species in the galaxy. Earth is under human protection. Any attack on our world will be met with total destruction. This is your only warning." To prove their point, Captain Martinez was already leading a small human fleet toward the Zephyrian home system. His ships used jump drive technology that the aliens didn't know existed. They could travel across the galaxy in hours instead of months. "Captain, we're approaching the Zephyrian capital," Lieutenant Wilson reported. "They have no idea we're coming." Jake looked at the alien world on his screen. It was beautiful, with purple oceans and silver cities. Millions of Zephyrians lived there, thinking they were safe because their fleet was conquering another world. "Remember the mission," Jake told his crew. "We're not here to destroy. We're here to demonstrate." The human ships appeared in the Zephyrian home system like ghosts. Their stealth technology made them invisible until they were ready to strike. The Zephyrian home defense fleet was impressive. Hundreds of ships surrounded their planet, armed with the most advanced weapons the Empire had. But they were no match for human technology. "All ships, begin the demonstration," Jake commanded. The human ships moved through the alien defenses like they weren't there. Their quantum disruptors disabled every weapon system. Their shield breakers destroyed every defense. In 30 minutes, The entire Zephyrian home fleet was powerless, but the humans didn't stop there. They disabled the planet's defense grid, shut down their communication systems, and took control of their government buildings. They did all of this without firing a single shot that could hurt anyone. When it was over, Jake broadcast a message to the planet. People of the Zephyrian Empire, this is Captain Martinez of the Earth Defense Force. We could have destroyed your world. We chose not to. Remember this mercy. The message was broadcast from every communication device on the planet. Every Zephyrian citizen heard it. They learned that their mighty empire had been defeated by a species they had never heard of. Meanwhile, back in Earth's solar system, Admiral Rodriguez was dealing with the captured alien fleet. The aliens were confused and scared. They had never been defeated before. Admiral Vexstar, you're going to help us send a message to the galaxy, she told him. What kind of message? The alien asked. You're going to tell every species in the Empire that humans are not to be touched. You're going to explain what happened here today. Admiral Vexstar looked at the human ships surrounding his fleet. The galaxy will not believe this. No one has ever defeated the Zephyrian Empire. They'll believe it when they see the proof. Admiral Rodriguez said Dr. Park had been recording everything. The battle, the demonstrations, the complete defeat of the alien fleet. She was preparing a data package that would be sent to every world in the galaxy. Admiral, the evidence package is ready, she reported. Video recordings, sensor data, everything. No one will be able to deny what happened here. The data package was sent through the captured alien communication network. Within hours, every species in the galaxy was watching the impossible. The mighty Zephyrian Empire being defeated by a species they had never heard of. On worlds across the galaxy, alien leaders watched in shock. The Zephyrians had been the most powerful empire in known space. If humans could defeat them so easily, what did that mean for everyone else? Commander Adams was monitoring alien communications from his asteroid base. Sir, we're intercepting messages from dozens of species. They're all talking about us. What are they saying? Admiral Rodriguez asked. They're scared, ma'am. They want to know if we're going to conquer them next. President Carter decided it was time for another message. This one would be different. This one would offer hope instead of fear. People of the galaxy, this is President Carter of Earth. We know you're afraid. The Zephyrian Empire told you they were unbeatable. Today, you learned that was wrong. But we're not conquerors. We're defenders. We will protect any species that chooses peace over war. The message had an immediate effect. Species that had been conquered by the Zephyrians began to rebel. They declared their independence and asked for human protection. Colonel Watson was leading diplomatic missions to these worlds. We're not here to rule you, she told the alien leaders. We're here to help you stay free. Rick Collins was sharing defensive technology with peaceful species. These shield generators will protect your worlds from attack. Use them wisely. The Zephyrian Empire was collapsing, not because humans had conquered it, but because it had lost its reputation as an unstoppable force. Fear had been their greatest weapon, and humans had taken it away. Admiral Vexstar watched his empire crumble from his prison cell on a human ship. How long have you been planning this? He asked Captain Martinez. 70 years, Jake replied. Ever since we first detected alien signals from space. We knew someone would try to conquer us eventually. We got ready, but your technology seemed so primitive. We wanted it to seem primitive. We hid our real capabilities until we needed them. Dr. Foster was already working on the next phase of humanity's plan. Mr. President, we're detecting strange energy signatures from the galactic core, the same readings that made the Zephyrians run in the first place. What kind of signatures? Something that's destroying entire star systems. Whatever it is, it's heading this way. President Carter realized that humanity's victory over the Zephyrians was just the beginning. There was something else out there, something that had scared the galaxy's most powerful empire into becoming conquerors. "How long do we have?" he asked. "Maybe a few years, maybe less. But now we have allies. The species we helped free from the Zephyrians want to help us fight whatever's coming." The galaxy was changing. The old order, based on fear and conquest, was ending. A new order, based on cooperation and mutual defense, was beginning, and at the center of it all was Earth, a small blue planet that had refused to surrender and shown the galaxy that sometimes the best way to avoid a fight is to prove you can win one. The message had been sent. The warning had been delivered. The galaxy now knew that humans were not to be trifled with. But the real test was yet to come. Something was coming from the darkness between the stars. Something that had made the Zephyrians into the monsters they became. Soon, humanity would face their greatest challenge yet. But this time, they wouldn't face it alone. President Carter stood in the White House Situation Room, looking at the screens showing the alien fleet. He had made his decision. It was time to show the galaxy who humans really were. Admiral Rodriguez opened a channel to the alien fleet. He said, his voice was calm, but his hands were steady. "It's time to deliver our message." The communication screen flickered to life. Ambassador Kethvar appeared, his 3 eyes glowing with anger. "Human leader, your time is up. You have 1 hour to surrender, or we will destroy your cities," the alien said. President Carter looked directly at the camera. "Ambassador, we reject your ultimatum. You have 1 hour to leave our solar system, or face the consequences." Kethvar laughed. It was a cold, harsh sound. "You have no weapons that can hurt us. Your technology is primitive. We will now show you what happens to planets that resist the Zephyrian Empire." The communication ended. On the alien flagship, Admiral Vextar gave the order to attack. "Fire on their largest cities. Show them we are serious," he commanded. 50 alien ships aimed their weapons at Earth. Beams of energy shot toward the planet, each one powerful enough to destroy a mountain. But as the beams got closer to Earth, something impossible happened. The energy beams hit an invisible wall around the planet and disappeared. Earth was protected by a shield that covered the entire world. "What is this?" Admiral Vextar roared. "How do they have planetary shields?" Dr. Foster smiled as he watched the alien weapons fail. His planetary defense system had worked perfectly. Hidden generators around the world were creating a shield that could stop any attack. "Phase 1 complete," he told his team. The aliens now know we're not helpless. Time for Phase 2. In space, Captain Martinez received the signal he had been waiting for. "All ships, this is Defiance Actual. Operation Daybreak is now active. Show them what we can do." Around the solar system, 200 ships that had been invisible suddenly appeared. They were sleek and fast, moving in perfect formation toward the alien fleet. Rick Collins watched from his command center as his stealth ships revealed themselves. "Target their weapons and engines only. We want to disable them, not destroy them." The human ships moved like lightning. They were faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. Their weapons were different too. Instead of energy beams, they fired quantum disruptors that went right through alien shields. "Sir, our shields are useless against their weapons." An alien officer reported to Admiral Vextar. "They're hitting us with something we've never seen before." Admiral Vextar watched in shock as his massive fleet was being torn apart by tiny human ships. "How is this possible? Our intelligence said they were primitive." But the real surprise was yet to come. Commander Adams activated the hidden weapon platforms throughout the solar system. What the aliens had thought were simple research stations suddenly bristled with weapons. "Target acquired. Commander Adams said. All platforms fire at will. Asteroids, moons, and space stations that had looked harmless suddenly opened fire. The alien fleet found themselves surrounded by weapons they never knew existed. The aliens were confused and scared. They had never faced an enemy like this. Every time they tried to retreat, more human weapons appeared. But Dr. Foster was preparing. The ultimate demonstration. Mr. President, requesting permission to activate the solar lance. Permission granted, President Carter said. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth. High above the sun, a network of solar collectors began to focus the star's energy. The collectors had been disguised as research satellites for 15 years. Now they revealed their true purpose. A beam of pure solar energy shot across the solar system. It was brighter than a star and hotter than the core of a planet. The beam hit the alien flagship's shields and burned right through them. The beam was perfectly controlled. It hit the alien command center and destroyed their communications. But it didn't destroy the ship. It was a message. We could have killed you all, but we chose not to. Admiral Vextar found himself in a ship with no power and no way to communicate with his fleet. Around him, his mighty armada was being systematically disabled by an enemy he had thought was helpless. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the humans, his communications officer said, using backup systems. Captain Martinez appeared on their screen. Alien ships, this is Captain Martinez of the Earth Defense Force. You are surrounded and outgunned. Power down your weapons and prepare to receive our terms. Admiral Vextar couldn't believe what he was hearing. Terms? You're giving us terms? Yes, Jake said. We're not like you. We don't destroy planets. We don't kill unless we have to. But we will defend ourselves. Colonel Watson's Special Forces teams had boarded several alien ships. Using teleportation technology the aliens didn't know existed. They moved through the ships like ghosts, disabling weapons and securing key areas. This is impossible, one alien officer said, as Watson's team appeared in his command center. How did you get past our shields? We've been studying your technology. For decades, Watson replied. We know your ships better than you do. Dr. Park was monitoring the battle from her command center. Her quantum disruptors were working perfectly. The alien shields that had protected them for centuries were useless against human weapons. Admiral Rodriguez, all alien ships are disabled, she reported. We have complete control of the battlefield. Admiral Rodriguez nodded. Phase 3 is complete. Time for Phase 4. President Carter appeared on every screen in the alien fleet. Admiral Vextar, this is President Carter. Your fleet is defeated. Your weapons are useless. Your shields are down. But we're not going to destroy you. What do you want? Admiral Vextar asked. We want you to take a message back to your empire, Carter said. Tell them that Earth is under human protection. Tell them that we have weapons they've never seen. Tell them that if they ever threaten our world again, we will not be so merciful. The alien fleet was completely helpless. Ships that had conquered hundreds of worlds were now floating in space, powerless and defeated. How did you do this? Admiral, Vextar asked. Our intelligence said you were primitive. Captain Martinez smiled. We wanted you to think that. We've been preparing for this day for 50 years. We knew you would come eventually. Dr. Foster shut down the solar lance. That was just a taste of what we can do. We have weapons that can destroy entire star systems if we need to. Rick Collins began powering down his stealth ships. We're not conquerors like you. We just want to be left alone. But if you force us to fight, we'll show you what humans can really do. The battle was over in less than 3 hours. The mighty Zephyrian Empire, which had conquered 400 worlds, had been defeated by a species they thought was primitive, but the humans weren't finished. They had a message to send to the entire galaxy. They were going to make sure that Every species in the universe knew that Earth was not to be touched. Admiral Rodriguez looked at the disabled alien fleet. Phase 4 complete. Time for the final phase. President Carter picked up a secure phone. Dr. Foster, prepare the deep space communication array. We're going to broadcast a message to the entire galaxy. The real demonstration was about to begin. The aliens had learned that humans were not helpless. Now the rest of the galaxy was going to learn the same lesson. The countdown to the deadline no longer mattered. The battle was won. But the war for respect in the galaxy was just beginning. Colonel Amy Watson stood in front of a massive steel door deep underground. The sign next to it read, Level 12, Authorized Personnel Only. She had been authorized for this level only 3 hours ago, after 30 years of military service. You ready for this, Colonel? Asked General Frank Miller. He was an old man with white hair and tired eyes. What you're about to see has been secret for 25 years. Amy nodded. She had seen many secrets in her career, but something in the general's voice told her this was different. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside was a room the size of an aircraft hangar, but instead of planes, it was filled with weapons that looked like they came from science fiction movies. Soldiers in strange armor were testing devices that glowed with blue light. Welcome to Project Blackout, General Miller said. This is where we've been preparing for today. Dr. Helen Park walked up to them. She was a small woman with black hair and bright eyes. She looked excited and nervous at the same time. Colonel Watson, I need to show you something amazing. She led them to a table covered with what looked like normal guns, but when Helen picked one up, it started to glow. These are quantum disruptors, she said. They don't shoot bullets. They shoot energy that can break apart alien shield technology. We've been working on them since we first detected signals from space 15 years ago. Amy picked up one of the weapons. It felt warm in her hands. How do you know they work on alien shields? Because we've been studying pieces of alien technology for decades, Helen said. Every time an alien ship crashed on Earth, we collected the pieces. We've been reverse engineering their technology and building weapons to fight it. General Miller smiled. Show her the big one, Helen. Helen pressed a button on the wall. Part of the floor slid away, revealing a weapon the size of a small car. It was silver and covered in blinking lights. This is a shield breaker, Helen said. One shot from this can destroy the shields on their biggest ships. We have 50 of them hidden around the solar system. Meanwhile, in a different facility, engineer Rick Collins was showing his own secrets to Admiral Rodriguez. Rick was a young man with messy hair and oil-stained hands. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Admiral, this is what we call ghost technology, Rick said. He was standing next to what looked like an empty space in the hangar. Watch this. He pressed a button on a small device. Suddenly, a spaceship appeared in the empty space. It was sleek and black, with no visible weapons. How did you do that? Admiral Rodriguez asked. The ship was always there, Rick said. Our stealth technology makes it invisible to all known sensors. We've been building a secret fleet for 10 years. We have over 200 ships like this one. Admiral Rodriguez walked around the ship. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Are they armed? Each one carries 50 quantum disruptors and 10 shield breakers. They're also faster than anything the aliens have. We can hit them before they even know we're there. On the alien flagship, Admiral Vextar was growing impatient. He was a tall creature with gray skin and 3 eyes. He had conquered 73 worlds and never had to wait more than a few hours for surrender. Why haven't these humans surrendered yet? He asked his aide. They appear to be having meetings, sir. Our sensors show large gatherings of their leaders. They're probably deciding how to surrender. Admiral Vexstar looked at the small blue planet on his screen. Their technology is primitive. Their ships are slow. Their weapons are weak. They should have surrendered immediately. What he didn't know was that human technology was much more advanced than it appeared. For 50 years, humans had been building secret weapons and hiding them from the rest of the galaxy. Commander Steve Adams was in the most secret facility of all. It was built inside an asteroid between Mars and Jupiter. The facility was called Project Prometheus, and it was humanity's biggest secret. "Show me the status report," Steve told his team. Lieutenant Ben Clark pulled up a holographic display. It showed the entire solar system, with small red dots scattered everywhere. "We have weapon platforms on every major asteroid, moon, and space station," Ben said. "Each one is disguised as a research facility or mining operation. The aliens have no idea they're surrounded." Steve smiled. "How many platforms do we have?" 3,000, sir. "Each one is armed with planet-killer weapons. If they try to attack Earth, we can destroy their entire fleet." The most amazing secret was in Colorado, where Dr. Foster was working on something that seemed impossible. He was turning the sun into a weapon. "Dr. Foster, explain this to me again," President Carter said over the video link. "You want to use the sun as a gun?" "Not exactly, Mr. President," Dr. Foster said. He was standing in front of a machine that filled an entire room. "We've built a network of solar collectors around the sun. They can focus the sun's energy into a beam that can destroy anything in the solar system." "How long have you been working on this?" 15 years, sir. "We call it the solar lance. It's our ultimate weapon." President Carter shook his head. "I had no idea we had these capabilities." "That was the point, sir. We've been preparing for this day since we first detected alien signals. We knew they would come eventually." As the second day began, the alien fleet was getting ready to attack. Ambassador Kethver was tired of waiting. "Admiral Vexstar, I think it's time to show these humans what happens when they ignore our warnings," he said. "Agreed," Admiral Vexstar replied. "Target their largest cities. Fire warning shots. That will make them surrender quickly." But Captain Martinez was watching every move the aliens made. His ship was equipped with the most advanced sensors humanity had ever built. He could see things the aliens didn't even know existed. "Lieutenant Wilson, are you seeing this?" he asked. Kate looked at her screen. "Sir, the alien ships are moving into attack formation. They're preparing to fire on Earth." "Send the signal," Jake said. "Tell Earth Command it's time to activate the defenses." On Earth, Admiral Rodriguez received the message. She took a deep breath and picked up a red phone that connected her to secret facilities around the world. "This is Admiral Rodriguez. Authorization code Alpha 77 Omega. Activate all defensive systems. This is not a drill." Around the world, weapons that had been hidden for decades came online. Shields that could protect entire continents activated. Ships that had been invisible for years prepared to reveal themselves. Dr. Park armed her quantum disruptors. Rick Collins powered up his stealth fleet. Commander Adams brought his asteroid. Weapons online. Dr. Foster prepared the solar lance. The aliens thought they were about to attack a helpless planet. They were about to discover that Earth was the most heavily defended world in the galaxy. But the humans weren't planning to just defend themselves. They were planning to send a message that would shock the entire galaxy. They were going to show the Zephyrian Empire that humans were not the primitive species they appeared to be. The countdown continued. 43 hours until the deadline. But the real countdown had already begun. In minutes, the aliens would attack. And when they did, they would discover that humanity had been waiting for them all along. The stage was set for the greatest surprise in galactic history. The hunters were about to become the hunted. Captain Jake Martinez stared at the screen in front of him. The numbers made no sense. His ship, the UES Defiance, had been patrolling the edge of the solar system for 3 months. Nothing ever happened out here. But now his sensors were going. "Crazy double quotes, sir. You need to see this," said Lieutenant Kate Wilson. She was young, maybe 25, with short brown hair and nervous eyes. "The energy readings are off the charts." Jake walked over to her station. The display showed massive spikes of energy coming from empty space. Then, as he watched, the space wasn't empty anymore. Ships began to appear. Not just 1 or 2 ships, but hundreds of them. Each one was the size of a city. "Get me a channel." "To Earth Command," Jake said. His voice was steady, but his hands were shaking. In 30 years of service, he had never seen anything like this. The largest ship in the alien fleet was massive beyond belief. It was black as night and covered in strange symbols that seemed to glow with their own light. Jake counted at least 50 smaller ships surrounding it, each one bigger than Earth's largest battleship. On Earth, Admiral Lisa Rodriguez was having her morning coffee when the emergency alert came through. She was a tough woman in her 50s, with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had fought in 3 wars and thought she had seen everything. She was wrong. "Admiral, we have a situation," her aide said, rushing into her office. "Captain Martinez is reporting alien ships at the edge of the solar system. Hundreds of them." Lisa set down her coffee cup. "How many hundreds?" "At least 500 ships." "Ma'am, maybe more." Lisa stood up and walked to the window. She could see the blue sky and white clouds. In a few hours, everything might change forever. "Get me the president, now." President John Carter was in the middle of a meeting about trade. Agreements when his phone rang. He was a tall man with kind eyes and gray hair. He had been president for 2 years and thought his biggest problems were the economy and healthcare. He was about to learn how wrong he was. "Mr. President, we have a situation," Admiral Rodriguez said when he answered. "We have made contact with an alien fleet. They're at the edge of our solar system." John sat down heavily in his chair. "How many ships?" "Over 500, sir. They're requesting to speak with Earth's leaders." 20 minutes later, the alien message came through. It was broadcast on every television, radio, and computer on Earth. The voice was deep and cold, speaking perfect English. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Kethfor of the Zephyrian Empire. We have come to your world with an offer. You have 72 hours to surrender your planet to our rule. You will give us all your weapons. You will accept our laws. You will become part of our empire." The message continued. "If you refuse, we will destroy your world completely. We have done this to 400 other planets. Your weapons cannot hurt us. Your technology is primitive. You cannot win." To prove their point, the aliens destroyed Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. They used a single beam of light that lasted only 3 seconds. Europa simply vanished in a flash of white light. The world went into panic. People ran through the streets. Some prayed, others cried. Many just stood and stared at the sky, wondering if they would see tomorrow. In the emergency meeting room under the White House, President Carter sat with his advisors. Admiral Rodriguez was there, along with Secretary of Defense Mark Thompson, and others. They all looked scared. "What are options?" President Carter asked. "We don't have many," Admiral Rodriguez said. "Our best ships are toys compared to theirs. Our strongest weapons couldn't scratch their shields." But Dr. Alan Foster, a thin man with thick glasses, raised his hand. He was the head of the Deep Space Research Center. "Mr. President, there's something you need to know. My team has been monitoring deep space for years. These aliens aren't just here to conquer us." "What do you mean?" the president asked. "They're running from something." Our long-range sensors have detected massive energy signatures from the galactic core. Something is destroying entire star systems out there. The Zephyrians aren't conquerors. They're refugees. That doesn't change anything, Secretary Thompson said. They still have the power to destroy us. Dr. Foster nodded. Yes, but it means they're not at full strength. They're scared, and scared enemies make mistakes. Meanwhile, Captain Martinez was still watching the alien fleet. He noticed something strange. The ships weren't in an attack formation. They were spread out like they were protecting something, or running from something. Lieutenant Wilson, scan. The rear of their fleet, he ordered. Kate's fingers flew over her controls. Sir, I'm reading damage on several ships. Burn marks, hull breaches. These ships have been in a fight. Jake smiled grimly. Send that information to Earth Command immediately. Back on Earth, the President was addressing the nation. My fellow Americans and citizens of the world, we face the greatest challenge in human history, but we will not surrender. We will not give up our freedom. We will find a way to survive. In secret locations around the world, military leaders were making phone calls. Projects that had been hidden for decades were suddenly very important. Dr. Helen Park, working in an underground lab in Colorado, got a call that changed everything. Dr. Park, this is Admiral Rodriguez. We need to know about Project Guardian. Is it ready? Helen looked at the massive machines around her. She had been working on them for 10 years. It's ready, Admiral. But are you sure we want to use it? We might not have a choice. In another secret facility, engineer Rick Collins was getting a similar call. His stealth technology had been theoretical until now. Today, it might save the world. Colonel Amy Watson was in a meeting with her Special Forces team. They had trained for situations that seemed impossible. Today, the impossible was about to become reality. Listen up, she told her team. We have 68 hours to prepare for the fight of our lives. These aliens think we're weak. They think we're scared. They're about to learn that humans don't give up without a fight. As the first day ended, the alien fleet waited at the edge of the solar system. Ambassador Kethfer was confident. In 400 conquests, no planet had ever resisted. Earth would be no different. But on Earth, in secret bases and hidden facilities, people were working through the night. They were preparing weapons the aliens had never seen. They were getting ready to send a message that would echo across the galaxy. The countdown had begun. 67 hours until the deadline. 67 hours to prepare for the impossible. 67 hours to show the galaxy that humans were not as helpless as they appeared. The stage was set for the greatest battle in human history. But first, humanity had to reveal its greatest secret. They had been preparing for this day for decades.